Hello, everybody. Let's get this show on the road. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody can hear me okay. Let's see. There we go. All right. Good evening, Shaky and Jeff M252, Gordon Leon Marks, X-Man, Zero for Paul, and everybody else. We are back, and thank you for the host there, Farming Home 420. All right, so it's been a while since we've been here. August was a pretty busy month around here. I had my daughter here, but work has been going on behind the scenes, and we're really close to release. So I'm sure most of you are here tonight to find out when that's going to be. If can everybody hear me okay? Hey, old man farmer, how you doing? And MP7 Reaper, thank you for the host. So once I get confirmation that you guys can hear me gabbing here, we'll be good. Hey, Big Daddy's in the house. All right. So when we last left you guys, we had three main projects to complete. One was these warehouses down here. So we'll start off with that. The release is scheduled for next Friday. So next Friday, get ready for a release show. It's probably just going to be the release and us playing and helping you guys out. But we're planning on releasing next Friday because two out of the three main projects are done, and that was redoing these warehouses. You could see that the goods, basically all the warehouses down here now have pallets for several of the items, and they've been rearranged a little bit so that they actually match what category, like the foods drop off here. If we bring up our warehouse list, you will see that we have train station grains. That's done over at the train station itself. And then we have the goods, which is all of these products. Anything that does come on a pallet, you'll see the pallets show up in the warehouse. Then we have the foods drop off area right here in this warehouse. All the food items will appear. And we shortened up. There's a little bit extra space so you can park some vehicles in. I moved the fences around in here. On the servers, you can spawn some of the pallets only up to the first 50. That's a known issue on the server that we can't get behind. But if you're playing single player, you'll be able to spawn everything right from the warehouse. I am on the server right now. Anything that was on the server previously before this latest update will still be spawnable. Uh, it's the newer items that you'll have an issue if you're on the server. You'll have to use the box truck. But let's see. You can spawn, and all the spawn points have been put in, so you can get two of each pallet out without any problem. And then we added in another warehouse right here, foods drop off number two, and these are the ones that you probably will not be able to spawn many. Let's try like the pork. Yeah, see, these aren't going to spawn on the server. You'll have to load them with a box truck, which we're going to show you in a minute. And then the last one is all of the produce area. So with the produce, it's all down one side in here. And I believe you could still, because the only way to move the stuff around, like the red cabbage, you can still spawn those in just fine. It's the new pallets of the bagged stuff down here that you won't be able to. You'll have to use the box truck for those, unless you're in single player. So that was one main project, getting all the spawn points and getting all the products in to the warehouse. And with that came the updating of the box truck for all of the new factory types. So we'll take a look at some of the factory skins that are new on the box truck. Basically, uh, each of the silos is right in front of whatever product is in the warehouse. They're spaced apart so you can get long trains in here now. I don't know if we had that last time. But fire logs, for instance, we have the default DadgeNet mods. We changed the default logo on the box truck that used to say Baldacchino or whatever to a default one. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. But we have a new default one for uh, Pleasant Valley V3 on the truck instead of the other one. And wool and the bee products are going to be using that skin, such as that one. So we can also offload it back in. And that's the default skin. Basically, the only things on our map currently that use that are the wool and any of the bee products. Over to the foods. Let's see what we have new in that category. We've got the honey, which is bee products, same skin. But do we have anything else? No, it's all going to be in the third one, which is third and fourth. Foods 2 right here. We have the Heinz company logo. There's the Heinz truck. I'm going to just back up real quick. So, and the train has also been done to match these as well with all the proper skins for the proper products. If I could drive straight, we could get the next one in there and see what else we got here. So that's Heinz, and then, oh, I don't know if I did Campbell's. No, I did not. That is one thing I forgot about these guys. It has the default though, but we'll get Campbell's back in. That just needs to be activated. It's already on the truck. So Campbell's will be just like it was in 2015. You won't see the default skin on there. Just one of those last minute changes that will come in this week before we get this thing released next Friday. I'm planning next Friday at 9 o'clock, just like usual, but keep an eye out here because if something comes up on Friday, I've been pretty busy. We might have to move it to Thursday or Saturday, but for right now, Friday at 9 o'clock is the scheduled time for releasing the updated map. Let's see what else we have here. Do da do. So the biggest thing is this was project number one, getting all this stuff done, and then project number two was finding all the places to sell this stuff. So let's see, we did Heinz. Vinegar is, oh, that's Heinz factory too. Yep, vinegar is at the Heinz factory. Let's try, I can't see my list. Well, CM Meat Company is back. Another new factory, so we have that one as well on the truck again. Can't believe I forgot Campbell's, but this map has gotten so large, and we've tested it quite well. We've done a lot of adjusting over the past few weeks with quantity, output quantities, and stuff like that. So basically, what I'm going to do for tonight is show you guys what's coming new, just in case it's your first time watching one of the episodes lately. And hey, big man 3501, how you doing? And we'll give you an idea of what's coming after the release, what I'll be doing. It is not going to be over completely, but honey mustard is Ken's salad dressing. There you go, Ken's. And let's see what else we have in here. Oh, Planters peanuts. There you go. Planters skins on the truck. And Ken's. So, and I think the last one is the Dole skin in the last factory. So all these products can be picked up. These are all the new products that are exclusive to version 3. Uh, Obviously the biggest thing with I've been great. Actually, thanks for asking, big man. It's been just a great month I had here with my daughter here, and spent most of my time as I could with her because I won't see her again until probably Thanksgiving, and that'll probably just be for the weekend. In what I'm going to be doing is trying to find some work. So hopefully, if I get a job, I'll still be able to travel out for the holidays to see her. We'll find out eventually. Yeah, I think that was that one. And then we have the Dole logo on the last one here. So we can get shredded lettuce, for instance, and there's the Dole truck. So the box truck and train have been updated, minus Campbell's, which I it's pretty easy fix. That'll be ready for you guys too, because the skin's already there. I just didn't activate it from last year. So that's the main thing. The other thing that we had to take care of, which was number two out of the three projects, was the shops. All the shops have been updated. Excuse me. I'm going to be coughing a little bit here. I got a little bit of a cold. So basically, we did leave everything sellable at the shops except for the fruits directly. You won't see them. If you had a place where it sold fruits before that existed, like apples, now that place will take sliced apples. If it took strawberries, it will need to take the sliced strawberries from Dole. So you have to run them through the new factory in order to do it. So we could take a quick tour so you could see that like sliced apples, bagged raspberry, bagged cranberry, sliced strawberries are all at the bakery here. Uh, we left most of the stuff alone, but we threw into the railroad mills. I switched one over. It takes all the candle fire logs, some of the soups, the honey roasted peanuts, the peanut shells. And as we go through, the North Railroad Mill looks pretty much the same. We added some stuff like the ranch dressing and shredded lettuce to Don's Pizza. I don't know if you guys can see that. We'll move it over here and we can remove that for now. So you'll see some pork and mutton and those things go to Don's Pizza right now as well. Honey roasted peanuts, peanut butter, peanut oil at the North Bakery. And I tried to keep it kind of stuff that they might be able to use at those things. And then with the railroad mills, we added several other products. So most of the new products, if you hold your shift key down, I don't know if you guys knew this, but and say you clicked it on Heinz ketchup, it'll pull up a list of where Heinz ketchup is sold and what the prices are. And you'll notice some of these new items have some pretty decent prices as well. So Applebee's, McDonald's, Piggly Wiggly, the museum, the South Railroad Mill, and West Transport all take the Heinz ketchup, for instance. So the last thing that has to be done is the museum, and we're waiting. I figured I'd get this last show in, give anybody that wants to send in donations that will make it into the museum this week. As long as I get it by the end of day Sunday, it'll be in this update. And then after that, you're going to have to wait until a future update. But I'm going to try to keep it up to date a little bit. There's a lot of changes that are going to take place in the museum. If you donated and you want to know if I have your totals correct, the donation list that's down below, if you scroll down, you'll see a donation link. That has been updated already. So if your name is not spelled correctly on there, or if you think your donation total is wrong, then just send me a whisper or something, or alberith@gmail.com. Get as soon as possible, because that's the information I'm using to get this thing up to date. And there's several people that really have helped out a lot, and there will be a couple surprises coming next week as well to honor those who have donated over the $500 mark. which I think there's two new ones, maybe three, and then we got to get a room in there for Get Her Done Farm All Night, who passed away. So, gonna be a busy week working on the museum. But for the update, we have the train station silos. We're gonna just take a run around here. The biggest feature is the factories. There's 14 of them that you have to build now. I'm on the servers, so they're already built here. They've been tested, but that is the main thing, as well as several new factories. Uh, we also spread out the silos so you could see the goods loading and drop off. So when you're pulling into the train station, if you had trouble getting in multiple triggers at one time, now around each of the tracks, you'll see these little drop off spots as you're heading into or out of the station on each of the stations so that it's easy to much easier to load up. They've helped out tremendously. So each of the tracks has all the silos, with the grain silos still being at the station itself. But they're spread out all across the landscape. In addition to that, the train stations themselves have been combined. And if you pull up the menu for the warehouses, you'll notice that it no longer says South Station, but it's just train station grains, goods, foods to, and produce. That is for all the train stations. With the grains have a maximum capacity. It's not going to be upgradable because we figured with 20 million of each product, you'd have to empty everything in order to do the upgrade. So we removed the upgrades from the train stations. But if you drop into any train station grains, it's available at all the other stations. That's one of the huge things as well. So the grains have a capacity of 20 million, as well as the goods all have a capacity of 20 million. And the other ones, the palleted products, have a capacity of 5 million apiece. So you can see 5 million on the foods too, and the produce all have a maximum capacity of 5 million. If you've got 5 million of each of those pallets in there, you've done a lot of work. Especially with the new economy system. The factories are going to run slower to start with. A little bit slower, much slower actually, but that's the way the upgrades are going to work this time around. Um, I'll see if I can kind of get an idea. You see right here where the productivity liters per hour at the top line, it says 9,000. I can't move my mouse down to show you, but liters per hour on the grain mill is 9,000. It's been maximized. It starts off at like 1,800. Uh, the hops and props says at 10,800. Some of them are set a little bit different. Cogent is maximum at 10,800 liters per hour. Sam Adams is 9,000, but most of these start relatively low, like in the, I forget what they are. We'll check that out on a single player game later. We'll get a better idea. Uh, but they basically, when you first start out the game, one of the things I wanted to do, especially if you're a single player, is make it so you're not running one factory all the time, but you can move around. So at the base speed on all the factories, except for the ones that are required for building products, like Cogent and the steel mill and those, the base speed is now set to take approximately 10 days to fill up the factory. So you load your factory up, it'll take about 10 days for it to go through that product. That way you can move on to another one and basically work as a single player at a nice pace where you can decide which factories you want to crank up. Through the upgrades menu, that's where all the upgrades are going to go. It's going to be a little bit more expensive to upgrade, and there are 5 upgrades per factory that will upgrade the speed. And it's roughly, for most of the factories, they'll run for 10 days, filling up as the default. You upgrade it once, it goes to about 7 days, then 5 days, then 3 days, then 1 day. So if you want to upgrade it 5 times, you'll have to fill it every day. But this will give you guys a little bit of a way to customize it how you want to run it. So with that, we have new factories. Let's take a look around and see what else is new. The Most of you guys have seen most of this stuff. 14 buildable factories. They're all built right now. They've all been tested. I'm not going to go through the ones that you have to build, but as we drive by, these two will have to be built. There have been some minor changes to them to make them easier to build, but we've added uh, several new ones as well, just to use up some of the products that haven't been used before. Like the lavender is done in the bee products area, and we now have the bees and the honey, but also the greenhouse stuff. Badzilla.
Great job on the map.
Thank you so much, Badzilla, for the $300 donation. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I don't even know what to say. That's just incredible. Are you sure you did the right amount of zeros? Because that's a lot of money. I really appreciate it, though. Wow. Uh, so here, thank you so much. I think Badzilla might be the getting his own place in the museum as well now. Well, that is pretty cool. So up here we have our what I'm lost. I get flustered when I get those big donations. We have what are we making here? Oh yeah, Ken's salad dressing. So we have the vinaigrette and the ranch dressing and redneck 1185. Things are going good. And the honey mustard. So we have Ken's salad dressing here. New factory with lots of new products. And you have to build that one as well. Um, there are definitely going to be a few. I got one major surprise that's coming in that you guys will see next week if I can pull it off. But to honor these people that have donated so much, we'll definitely get in there. So, Heinz, we have all the Heinz products, the mayo, the ketchup, the mustard, and all the products. Again, all the labels are in now, so you can see what gets dumped where relatively easily as well. That'll be a big help for you guys. And just the map is really looking cool. Um, just to give you an idea of what's going to happen, is there another factory? Yeah, I think it's down this way. What's going to happen from here on out is number one, I'm going to start looking for a job, believe it or not, because as much as you guys have been a super help, I I need to find some source of regular income and try to get myself eventually out of my sister's basement into my own place. So I'm going to see what happens there. Doesn't mean I'm going away, but what we're going to do for the next few months is I'm going to play the game with the guys here. Uh, I'm going to sit back and play Farming Sim, and I'll stream it too with you. I'm going to do what you guys have been doing. It's been so long since I've actually been able to play one of our maps from start to finish, so at the beginning of next week, when we do the update, we're going to start our server over. And if any of you guys on our team are out there and have been away, I know a lot of you guys take the summer off and come back for the fall. We're going to be starting fresh. Right now, Lars, myself, and Hunter Farmer will be starting up a fresh game next week. And we have a few other farms. So come on back if you're looking forward to Viper. Anybody like Viper who's in the path of one of these crazy storms, please be careful. I know it, Viper, I talked to him. He's planning on staying down in Florida through this thing, and we'll be thinking about you, and hopefully you'll stay safe. It's crazy around here lately with all the wildfires out west and the storms coming up the coast. So just stay safe if you're in any of those paths, and get back to us if we know you are. Let us know you're okay when you're done so we don't have to sit here wondering if you made it through because those storms are just incredibly huge. Personally, I kind of like storms. I'm one of those people that would like to be a storm chaser, but I don't think I'd be in Florida at any time down there right now. That's kind of crazy. So you're going to see a lot of landscape changes and the new factories, and we've added a couple of. Well, we added another bunker. We're going to head over to the farm over this way. Head over to Evan's farm, I think it is. We added another bunker silo over here to for doing silage. That way, I think the only farm that doesn't have one is the cow farm. Still only has one, and Robert's farm only has one bunker silo as well. But we now have two on the other three farms. So there's literally on the map still 7 silos to fill. If you're into the silage stuff, there's 7 of them. Yeah, we'll get the snow. That's gonna be coming soon. But the hurricane season is upon us, and it's really three hurricanes in the Atlantic today. That's just incredible. So we added over here, as you will see, a second bunker silo for doing your silage on this farm. Just squeezed it in there. You will have to do a restart if you're playing version 2. If you know how to mess around with your files, then you can copy some of the information over into the new. You'd create a new save game and then copy some files over. But you can't copy, you'd have to do some editing because there's a lot of things that have come out of the map as well that will throw some errors. You live around Orlando, getting ready. Yeah, well, Stanley, bed good, be good, and we'll be praying for you. Exactly. Stay safe. Orlando, you're a little bit north. I think you'll be okay over there. But just try to weather the storm. It looks pretty bad. I don't even want to look, but I guess it looks like worst case scenario coming right up the center. So here's our planters peanuts, and also, yeah, if you guys weren't here for the last show where you have trouble filling the milk trailer, we switched it over so that you will be have to select to load the milk, but the trigger's a lot less sensitive. Let's come over here and see what we got. Um, I'm gonna swing around and do a little pickup while I'm here. Maybe drive some stuff. So we have pallets and honey get dropped off there. What do we got here? We've got our peanut butter, honey roasted peanuts, and peanut oil. Let's see if we can pick up some stuff. Let's grab some honey roasted peanuts. What the heck is going on with that? I don't. Oh, you got to fire 30 minutes from your Moto. There's a wall of text with, yeah, 3 different people. They got time on their hands, I guess. Wait, are we going to give you a whole mod pack? We are going to give you the box truck, and I'm gonna. That's one of the projects I'm hopefully gonna get to this week is redo the whole list of where the files are going and what files go with each map, and try to update the links even for the 2015 and 2013 stuff. So to make it all easier, but we are giving you the required files and anything we edited, such as the lavender header for and the cotton header and that stuff. As far as other mods, the box truck obviously, uh, but the mods we use, it's pretty much up to you guys. If it's needed for this map, then we'll be supplying it. If it's not, then you can use whatever you can find for other maps. We want to keep the file downloads as minimal as possible, and this year it's been pretty good. We don't have too many specialty pieces that are needed, and everything else can be found out there on the websites. So the greenhouse area here, we put a pallet station right across from it, you can see. So if you're operating the greenhouses, you don't have far to go. We've also increased the speed that the greenhouses produce pallets so that you can keep up with them. And that's why they're all full. They'll produce one pallet an hour. And we made it much more roomy so you could get the trailers in here to fill them up. We've increased the capacities on them as well. Let me pull up that F1 menu. And you can see that they take much more product. 100,000 pallets, 200,000 water, 200,000 feet for each of the greenhouses. We updated the capacity, so they'll be pumping out, if you get them running, one pallet per hour. So you'd have to empty these frequently. Also made some adjustments so that you can keep the fact. We basically want it, if you're running the factories to take these products at full speed, you'll have enough product to from the greenhouses to run them. The release date is next Friday, if all goes well, at 9 p.m. Eastern, a week from today. Is BDBSSB out there? He had a question on how I get my map size so small, and I was going to run over that a little bit for him if he's out there, or we'll do it anyway. But if he's out there, it'd be kind of cool because he asked. It's a optimization process that literally takes a lot of work, but I've got several steps that I go through to when I finish up a map, and hopefully we'll be able to get it down, this map, even smaller in size. Right now it's about 1.61 gigabytes with all the new additions, but I haven't optimized it yet, which will bring it down quite a bit. So that is, I think, most of the stuff that's on the map. We've got some, we'll bring these down to the warehouse and dump them in. Let's see. Oh yeah, the gold from building the factories is gonna be dropped off right over here at the Maplefield Bank. Gets dropped off right there. Can't sell peanuts there, but we do have a truck. So you'll get the 66 Chevy, I think it's a 66 Chevy back with that will transport the gold to the bank, and you'll need that in the factory building process. Over here is the museum. That's where I'm going to be spending all my week. What? Yeah, what is that? What are you referring to? You only got a week left, and then we'll be done. But the museum totals and everything, and I've got some banner ads. I've got, I think, 3 new people that have sent me in wheels and a couple others, but these totals have to be updated on the big signs, like, and some of these rooms will be filling up, and we'll be adding a couple new displays to the museum as well. And we'll be adding some new banners. I gotta update all my banners from PV Rivers to the V3 or something different. And Docket, you will have yours in here as well if he's out there watching. I'm gonna make his for him. So we'll be adding a couple more displays to the museum, as well as some more banners, and then the donations from all of you guys. Depending on the level of donations, we've got the gold. Some of them are moving up, and some are moving out, up higher. So thank you. We'll go over that next week. That's for the $100 to $500, $499.99, and then $25 to $99 is in the silver rooms. And we got a lot of them. And then on the top floor, we've got the bronze rooms, which is $5 up to 24.99. And my guess is that this room is going to be pretty full next week. I got a lot more donators. So if anybody's donated $5 or more, you're going to get a plaque in the museum with your information. And we've got a lot more room in this museum to keep on building. This is just the one side. We're going to be opening up the other side if I can get over there because we need to put more displays. Let's go around, cross over the roof. We've got a couple floors over here that are still completely empty that will be filling up eventually, but we'll carry this on to the next map. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, we're going to go back to playing, but I'm not done with working on the map. Obviously, if you guys find something that needs to be fixed, we'll get to it. The map runs really well, so we'll probably do updates a little bit less frequently for a little while as I'm playing and enjoying it. But is there going to be a fairgrounds? I can't do a fairgrounds without the. Yeah, that's too bad. Bad touch. No FS17 version of field status. It's crazy the changes they made though. It's understandable. Uh the fairgrounds is not going to be in here because we relied on the universal process kit, which isn't multiplayer compatible, and I don't think he's working on it anymore. So we have not been able to do that with that unless I created something differently, which would be a huge project, but I'm not saying it won't ever make it into this year. We're gonna work on doing a couple of things here and there on the map while I'm playing. The first thing I want to do is I want to bring back traffic on all the roads. So when it's done, I'm not going to give timelines. We're going to release it next week, but I'm going to take my time and work out traffic splines on all the roads and bring back traffic so those of you who want to play with cars on the roads can do that. As many roads as possible anyway. So it's things like that whoa, thank you for the subscription, Wolfie. Thank you so much. You've been a huge help and a huge support. Thank you. You're incredible. I can't say enough about Wolfie 7009. Uh he's got a room coming in the museum next week. I got some ideas. Stay tuned. But yeah, you thank you so much. Huge help. So yeah, that we're gonna take a look, and there are several little things for this map, as much as there is in here that we haven't done yet that I would like to do over time, like bring the traffic back and work on the train splines, make them a little bit better. We know it's just splines. I hate them and they're time consuming, and uh, we'll get to them. But I'm not gonna rush it. We're just gonna take your time and get that stuff back in. And then we'll look at some other projects as well that we've had ideas. If we think we can pull them off, we might bring them back. And we'll always be looking out there for new stuff. And there is a possibility after I'm done playing through with our fellow mates on our server this time around that I will probably have another map already started by then. You know me. I'm not good, but things probably will slow down for the next few months anyway, so I can actually try to enjoy playing the map, one of the maps. I don't think these guys actually, one of them said I really haven't played hard since Fences, which I think I played, yeah, Fences, which is back in 2013, I think it was probably the last time I really put a lot of hours into playing. I did a lot on PV15 V2 on playing because that was uh we played through that several times. So that's what I would consider the last time, but I haven't played rivers or any version of this map. So I'm going to check it out, you know? Wolfie, thank you for the 311. That's amazing. Wolfie, you've done so much. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Subscribes every month, and now, yeah, I might not have to go to work. If only I could get a weekly income like that, then I'd be here all the time. But no, it's too much. The hours that we put into this is incredible, but I enjoy doing it. Um, what else do we have? So yeah, any further adjustments to the map? We've got all the bale types in here now. I don't know if that was in for you guys. There's a lot of changes. Um, but I did want to go over for BDB, SSB, the optimizations that I do, and we'll take a break from the game, then we'll come back on single player and give you an idea of what this map looks like in single player. But I wanted to go over tonight a little bit of the optimization techniques for pulling off a map with all this stuff in it. You have to, there are sacrifices, and it usually comes with slightly blurry textures that nobody's really complained about. So we did it. But I have several things that I do to get a map of this size with this much content down to a reasonable size so you guys could run it. And once we optimize, maybe we'll see if we can save another few megabytes to help it run even smoother. But I wanted to go over that for him because he's been a huge help as well. We'll discuss a little bit of that. We'll go to my desktop here. I'm going to just park over at my farm, and I'll give you a rundown of steps you can take to make your map file smaller. And I'm not going to do them all, but the first thing, I've done them before in the past, I'm pretty sure. And I know BDBSSB knows that you want to export your map to a new folder. Exporting the map is a multi-step process, but once you get it down, here, we'll see if we can get out of here, uh, and you know what you move with the map, then it gets rid of all the files that we didn't use. So that is step number one, exporting it. When you do an export of your map, it takes, well, we'll load up the map real quick. Let me create a new folder on my desktop for quick demo. We're going to call it PV. I'm going to just label it V4. Don't get excited. I just want a different name to show you the export. So I'm going to take the map here, load it up in the editor, and we'll run through the basic things to do when you're trying to make your map size small enough for so it runs better. You know, the smaller footprint your textures and everything have on your map, the easier it's going to run, less textures that people have to load up. And there's several things that I do to get that number down that I haven't done in months on this map, not in the last few releases. So I'm hoping we can get it down even further. That'll be the last thing I do. I always save it for last because it deletes i3D files that I use frequently, like the banners in the museum, and I just have to export one to recreate them all over again. So it's easier. Like, I'll give you an idea while we're waiting for that to load. If I can find them, if I go into my, let's see, I think it's back to my models and markers. Is it in there? Right here. All those ground marker files all have an i3D file, so they're easy for me to import them. They're all going to disappear when it's combined with the map, and I won't be able to easily click on one of the ground markers once I do the export. So that's why I haven't done it yet. But it does do quite a bit of change. So basically, with your map open, if you guys can see this. I can't because my monitor is blocking the corner. There we go. Uh, you would export all with files, and we are going to go to my desktop, and we will find our PV version 4 folder. And actually, one thing you want to do if you're doing an export is, let me go to, you'll see where this i3D file map01 is in a folder called maps. I want it in the same place. So I will put in a new folder called maps inside there. And then export a map01 file right into there. Export all with files, map01. Do you want to get the parent directory structure? We will say yes. And it takes a few minutes, but what it does is it will copy everything that is needed for this map minus certain files into that new folder. And quite a few files as well that are left behind. Give it a minute while it's doing that. I'm going to take a drink of soda to keep myself awake. Next Friday, Sense Fan, a week, and the links are going to change around. I do want to get it so that we have all the files from the previous. It's amazing to me how many people are still playing the 13 maps that I made and the 15 maps. So I got to clean that up and make one location. One of the things I want to do during the time before I start another one is get everything much better organized so that people can find things better and I can keep them updated because I am not an organization person. I have stuff everywhere. I'm going to try to streamline the whole process. I mean, I don't even have my graphics updated on the Twitch stream. You see, it's still Rivers was the last map I put up there, which is like 3 maps ago. So, I want to get some of that stuff caught up before we get into another big project. And we're just going to take a little. Yeah, a lot of people are playing PV Rivers still. I liked Rivers. I liked the way it was set up. All right, so you'll see that there's a lot of files that said error, failed to copy, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go through this whole process with you, but after you have the export, you would close down the map. We didn't make any changes. And I know my maps. You guys pretty well, and I'll still miss things. Uh, but if I bring up, this is the V3 map folder right here, and I will compare that to my V4 map folder. And you will see that there are not nearly as many files here, if I can get them side by side for you guys. I know I'm doing it the hard way, but I do everything the hard way. You'll see that there's a lot less files between the two. So certain things like the bale types, I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure they have to be in there. So I'll copy that folder. The fill planes has 150 items. This one here does not. It just did the default ones. I always have to copy my fill planes folder, my foliage folder, my fruit HUD, I copy all of these right back in. All my pallets are there, my particle systems, the fabric scripts, shaders, shared. A lot of those folders are missing. I'll even grab my sounds. And my splines need to be there. My textures is the one that usually, and then tip on ground vehicles. All those, I need my additional map types. So basically, most of my thing are in the maps and models folder that I leave behind. But once I copy all these up, I need my default vehicles. I don't think we need the combine straw fix anymore. I don't think that's running. My mod description and icons and my stone file. So I basically copy all those right into the new one. Most of the files that I left behind are in the models that are no longer used. So that would be, and then I just merge everything. So I make sure I have all those. Now, I could go through those folders and check later on, like fruit HUDs, to see if there's any HUD files that we're not using this year. Uh, we'll skip the ones that are already over there. And then there are some particle systems that go to things that have to be copied over. But that's not what all this was going to be about. You just have to make sure, and then you run the map, see what errors pop up using your error log. You'll find files missing, go find them and copy them in, and then you'll have the minimum amount of files. That's step one that I do. Step two would be going to V3. And I go to, let's see if I can figure out the search for, I'm going to select the size to large, and I look at a list of all of the files that are in there by size. And I basically look for the images that are really huge and taking up a lot of space and see if I can reduce the size. Most of them you can't, but uh, well, the box trailer, zip, yeah, wrong file. Did I do it on the wrong folder? I think I did. Let's go back to that folder and then do a size search. Where was it? I can't see it. It was just there. Oh, yeah. Search by size. Just look for large files. Um, you'll find out if there's really large graphic files in the map. I got mine relatively down quite a bit, but you can see like this Joskin Aqua Trans Diffuse file is at 5.33 megabytes. If I open that up in the editor, it's a image size of 2048 by 2048. A lot of those I shrink down to 1024 by 1024 because it will, whoops, just to give you an idea, then save it as the same file right where it was, DXT1 with my mipmaps on, and it will shrink it from 5 megabytes down to 1, and a lot of those you won't notice the difference. So I look for oversized files. Slow B shapes file, that'll disappear uh, because I have to move some of that stuff. But yeah, that's step two. We've got a stone diffuse file, especially if it's a diffuse file like, well, that those have to stay. Yeah, certain ones have to with the layers, they get screwed up. But just look at your file sizes for your uh, images and shrink those down. Another thing I do is I look for wave files and see if we have any duplicates on wave files and check out the size of the wave files. A lot of people have some sound files that are incredibly large. You could see right here I have this transporter wave file. I'll play them both, see if they're the same, and then go and look for them and relink them in the editor to only use one and get rid of one. You can see I have 3 copies of the workshop wave file, and they're all the same length and the same size. So relinking the workshop.wav just to one will get rid of 2 of them. And some of them, like the sawmill wave file, is 1.35 megabyte. That's a pretty big sound file. I do sound editing very often on certain ones. I'm going to see if I can find anything bigger right now, but you can see there's just tons of workshop wave files, and when you import mods and stuff in, you'll get just tons of copies of the same file that you don't need. So getting rid of them, that duplicates. like Workshop Wave, is a pretty easy process. We basically have to open up the map into, let's see, grab the map file. Da, 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 da. Open it into your Notepad++, and too bad. Well, you got to take your time to learn these things if you want to. Yeah, it is complicated, but once you do it enough times, and this is only step 2 of my process. So I would do a search, find, and if I get it spelled correctly, workshop.wav is, oh, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, if you spell it correctly, like I said, you'll see that it gives you the path to one of them. C Models Oil Workshop Wave. As I go down, we got it in the bread factory too. Uh, I would pick one of these lines, and you could the one of the short one. Yeah, the Workshop Wave is on in each of the factory places. So what I would do is take the Workshop Wave file, put it into, if I don't have one already, in my sounds file. Check and see if there's one in the sounds. I would copy one into here, and then I would change the path to directly to my sounds file, and then just replace anyone that has a Workshop Wave file with the new path and get rid of all the other copies. I'm not going to do it right now because it's time consuming, but that way you get rid of several instances of that Workshop Wave file and just have one that everything links to. And as far as editing sounds, I will take some of the bigger ones and just open them up in my sound editor. And if it loops, like the bird wave file that was pretty long, I wonder if I still have that up over here. I would listen to it and see if I could cut it down to make it not so it sounds repetitive, but here's, we'll open it up and you can hear the birds. You see how it's still playing the same file? I would try to find a spot much earlier on to chop it off and make it loop a little bit less to make the file size much smaller. As long as you don't, uh, well, you got the crow. There's a lot of silence and crickets, depending on the file. I don't know if I'll edit that one this time, but you can, if your file map is way too big, shrink your loop files down so that they're not as long. That's another thing I do. And after that, I run my favorite program if I can find it, Duplicate Picture Finder. You can buy this online. It's called Duplicate Picture Finder. I think it was, oh, I don't know. What do you mean register? I'm already registered. Oh, I don't. I'm gonna have to find my information before I rerun it. But basically, that will find all the duplicate pictures in the map file. And when I mean, and then you can do the same. It's basically the same thing as a wave file, but when you're copying uh, tons of models over, you'll notice that you have several texture files that are just the same as, well, those are my billboards, but they'll have several texture files that are almost identical, and that will find them for me, and then I can relink them all back to one texture rather than, say you have just a concrete texture and it's used on 20 different factories. uh, I only need one of that texture, and that also saves room in memory by relinking everything back to just the one texture. And when that's all said and done, I usually save a good 20, 30 megabytes of space. So those are the steps I take to get the thing down. I've done it before in full on one of my previous videos. I'll have to reorganize my whole YouTube library at some point too, because that's a mess. Organization. I need a secretary. Uh, I'm gonna jump onto a save game that I just been doing some tests on. Oh wait, let's not do it until I switch my folder to my folder, my working copy. Can you leave V2 in mods and still have V3 in mods also? I would recommend not having both of them in because you might run into problems. I haven't tested it, but as a rule, I only keep one map in the folder at a time because it gets kind of crazy. So to give you an idea, we're going to jump in. We're going to probably end the show pretty. I got to get up early tomorrow. I got to help somebody move. But we will have a update next week for sure. And the museum will be all new and spiffy, and everything's running really well. We'll give you an idea what the map looks like when you get it, almost. I've got only the last 2 days I've been doing a little bit of single player test stuff. Just trying some things out and seeing what how things are working. If I don't play it, I usually don't find things. There are still things that bug me in the map that we'll start taking care of that I notice as I'm doing this. But we're back on the farm. I sold a lot of the equipment. It's getting dark in here. Uh, Let me get one of my. So one of the things I was doing is you guys know that there's the texture of ground dirt underneath a lot of the areas on the map, and I was just uncovering. I wanted to uncover them and see how I can expand the map in the future. So basically, cultivating out up on this hill behind the Roberts farm, and then running the roller over it, you've got this huge area up here that will return to dirt rather than grass, or you could put a field up here. Doesn't cost anything. I could plow out a field eventually right in here, but I've been cutting back these trees up here and using the roller to roll it back to the underlying texture. And there are several places on the map. You can kind of tell when you're going around. I'll give you an idea where they are marked out to be, where they actually have a dirt texture underneath if you decide to expand your map. I'd like to look into getting more placeables that we could use to expand our farms, because that's the way this originally was designed. MFS exclamation point MFS plus, I think it is. It's easy to use, pretty easy to set up. So if you're looking as you're driving in the distance, you could see it's a little bit different texture up there underneath those trees in the distance on the right. I don't know if you can see that. It's about halfway up the forest. It's darker underneath the grass as you're approaching it. That means that underneath all of this is dirt texture as well. You could kind of tell it's a field rather than what normal grass looks like. If we should be able to find the. So all of this area back here will be cut out, and it could be another big parking lot for expanding. I might even be able to put a factory or something here eventually. You never know. But I'm just going around the map uncovering some of those areas to see what it looks like for expansion. And I'm going to look into some of the placeables and getting those used, see what's out there that people use for placeables these days so you can do more customization of farms. You can buy that repair shop from the in-game shop as a placeable and put it anywhere you wish. Yeah, so stuff like that. You can That's why I left the I don't know if I have enough money in here, but we can fudge some in. But that's why I left a lot of these areas that are dirt to be uncovered, so you can easily bring in some of those placeables. And let's see if we can. I don't know how much the repair shop is, but I'll throw some extra dollars in just for Whoops, Control 9. So if we wanted to, we can go to the placeables and take this vehicle workshop. Oh, it was only 28,000. And we can put it right up here on the hill now. And what else do we have? So you could really customize a lot of your map. Maybe put a heating plant up here as well, somewhere. Here, we'll stick it right there for now. I'm not going to save this because, whoops. Well, definitely not going to save it. But yeah, it jumped at the last minute. So yeah, you can do a lot of with your garages and stuff. Uh, Maybe put some large vehicle shelters up here on the top. There's definitely plenty of room for them now. Let's see if we can spin it. I can't even remember how to spin thing. Whoa, what did I do? Let's see. Q and E rotate. See, this is how much little I play this game. I have no idea even how to rotate objects. But plenty of room up here to expand your farms now with whatever you want. And there's a lot of these areas around each of the farms for you guys to uncover if you wanted to do that with the dirt texture underneath. What's that? A construction? That is actually the bio thingamabob or cell point or something. I have no idea. I've never used any of these. I have barely played this game. What does it look like? I guess you just sell bio stuff, wood chips or something like that. I have no idea. But you got the vehicle workshop, which where do you pull up to the vehicle workshop? In the front? They really need a better, I'm guessing you pull it right up along the front side. Yep, customize wide tires for 800. So you can do that. There we go. We got the wide tires on it now. So sell silage or wood chips. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of those places all around the map for you to carve out and put those types of things. And you can tell usually as you're coming up on them in the distance where they are. But when you start off the map, you're not going to have any factories. Well, you'll have some factories, but one of the things I wanted to show you, which we can do, I might have to fast forward time, which I can do that. Let's head up to our upgrade station. And that's one of the things I really wanted to show you with all of these factories here. Whoops. Let me move this and give you a better idea. So Cogent starts out, notice the productivity liters per hour is at 1800. As we go through, Sam Adams is only 1080 per hour, 3600 at National Gypsum, 4500 at User Glue, 1080 at Smirnoff, 36 at Shell Fuel. Stone Processing starts at 36, 1080 at Popcorn Suttons. Much lower productivity liters per hour on a lot of the factories. And the ones that are higher are actually used for building factories. So Del Monte is only 1800 per hour. These have all been adjusted down quite a bit. I'm going to take a quick turn. I'm going the wrong way. And you can upgrade them through the upgrade menu to get your speed back, and it'll actually produce faster than it did at the highest setting on PV version 2. If you upgrade it all 5 times, it'll actually go a little bit faster. For most of the factories, that is, when you upgrade them all the way. But That's where you're gonna need the extra money. The AR tippers will be our box truck will be in the mod pack. I will have to see about some of the other stuff. I'll be working on putting the mods together, make sure you have everything you need this week. Haven't even gotten into it, but that is all part of this week's fun and games is getting all the mods ready for you guys, figuring out what's absolutely necessary, and it will be minimal. Uh, Maybe I'll throw a file with links to several other things we use. If we could do that, that would be awesome too. So you guys can know where to find them. We won't leave you hanging. We'll try to get a good list together of what we're using if we can't supply it for you, but just for the other mod authors. There are hidden vehicles in the map. There's still 9. If I have time, we might make some changes to what's available on those as well. But that's one of those things that, although it doesn't take a lot of time, we're going to have to see what we can do. Please put the grain tipper in there. If you're playing single player, I tested all the gold coins or gold nuggets. They're all available, so you can get that quick $1 million and buy a lot of your stuff right there. I'm going to take a ride up to the upgrade station here and give you an idea of how the levels that they work. We'll fast forward through them now that we've got them set pretty well. There's a couple extra tippers, but not the big ones. I don't want to start. I realize that we could definitely use a little bit of help in the starting equipment area, but we'll see if we get to it. Okay, so over here, down here, we have remodeling and construction. It's closed. Let's get some fast forward on here. I got to go a little bit further. I think it opens at 8. Yep. All right, so we have only 2 of them owned right now, Stone Processing and Cogent Forest Products. So we'll take a look at one of those two. We'll go to Cogent, where we have 1,800 liters per hour. If we update it once for 200,000, there we go. Now if we look at Cogent, it's at 3,600 and it has a repair state of 4 hours. So we'd have to actually fast forward 4 hours before we could do any 3, 2, 1. And now it starts working again. So the next upgrade for 300,000, well, the maintenance goes to 750 a day, but now we're up to 4,500 liters per hour. So you can do this 5 times. Now the repair state takes 8 hours before it runs, so we'd have to fast forward it 8 hours. We'll go to the next day and get some daylight, get some more money. Lots of money. All right. So we're at 4,500 with 2 upgrades. Oh, got to go a little further. We're not open yet. Now we go to 5,400 liters for $400,000. And the repair time on that is now at 16 hours. So you basically can see how the upgrades will get those places running much faster than where they are in the beginning. The next level would be 7,200 liters an hour for 450,000, and it takes 24 hours for repair before it starts up, so a whole nother day. It's a good thing I got the fast forward mod, or we'd be here forever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And then Oops, wrong one. We have, we're at 7,200. Now we can upgrade it to 10,800, which would be the last upgrade for $500,000. So 10,800 liters per hour, you'll be cranking productivity. And it takes 32 hours before that will be ready to use and start working. So each of the factories, as you buy them, you will be able to upgrade them just like I did there. And you can customize your speed. Get rid of those orange combines and start have the better combine. Well, if you're playing single player, most people sell off all the combines and just buy one good one until they get it all back. Uh, we'll see what we're gonna throw in if we get time. I'm not gonna mess with the starting equipment. It's worked out pretty well. I don't mind a slower progression game. I like the map to last a little while, and that's the way I try to design it. And I think we really, you know, I put months and months and months of work in it, and then people finish them up in 3 months. It takes me a year to make it. It's like I can't keep up with you guys, so I got to make it as slow as possible for you guys to finish. So if anybody has any questions, that you can get them out there. I'm gonna call it a show in just a short time and get back to getting ready for uh, the next show and getting everything set up. But thanks everybody for showing up tonight. One more week, that's all you got, and we'll get this ready. Single player was a milk loading trigger. Milk loading trigger is improved. I don't have any milk down there to show you, but yes, you can now pull up and get the trigger real easy, but it's going to pop up that menu like it would on any factory for filling, and then you just select milk. So yeah, that definitely was improved. You guys will be able to get the milk out a lot easier. It was a script thing that was a little bit touchy with that, so we changed the way it operates a little bit. Anything else? Well, thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Wolfie and Badzilla, for your huge donations. I really appreciate it. And we will catch you guys next Friday. I'm going to be working hard. We'll get all that stuff in the museum, and I'm going to post this up onto YouTube for those guys that watch later. If you want to, also, if you have a banner, if you're going to be streaming the map when it comes live, get that in by Sunday, end of day Sunday as well. I've got, let's take a look here. I'll tell you who I have because some people might not have sent in or thought that I've got it. I do have a few on my desktop that docket. I'm working on yours. Don't worry about it. But I've got one from, we'll take a look here real quick on whose I have. So if you're not one of these people, I didn't get your banner for the museum, and you'll want to get it in to me by Sunday, end of day Sunday, so I can get them all in. All right, so we have, if I can pull it up, we have Negarath, your banner, and you guys, if you're creating it, 1024 width by 512 high will fit into my template, and it can be PNG, JPEG, or whatever. I'm going to convert them to DDS files for the map, but that's an easy process. So Negarath's yours here. Badzilla, yours is right here as it will go in. And I've got this one right here, which is Wheels 247. Those are the banners for the museum that I have that will be added in. And if anybody else wants to get it in or you tried to send it to me, it's Alborith, my bot name, ALBORITH at gmail.com. Get them in by Sunday. If you plan on streaming, we'll get you in the museum. And we'll catch you guys next Friday. If just keep an eye on the forums or Facebook. By the way, we hit 2,500 followers on Facebook, which immediately after I put that up there. We went back to 24.99. But I always post on Facebook. I don't when we're doing the next show, and we'll try to get it in the forums and just check the little line on the Twitch stream too. I usually put up when the next show will be. But Friday is the plan unless somebody needs me to do something Friday and I have to move it to Thursday or Saturday. So, thanks again, and we'll catch you guys next week with a new map. And have a great week and stay safe if you're out there in any of those trouble areas. I hope they get you back here next week. Have a great night.